Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. It's not very often that you get an actual common sense take out of Hollywood. And when you actually do, it's a very beautiful thing to hear. And especially when it involves an actress as gorgeous and beautiful and absolutely amazing as Cameron Diaz herself. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, she rejected Hollywood, completely and totally abandoned it for probably one of the most sweetest, honest, and best reasons you ever possibly could. Her family. And ladies and gentlemen, that is incredible. That is awesome. That is a warm fuzzy that I like to talk about, and this is just great to hear about because this, as you can see right here, Cameron Diaz stopped acting for 11 years because I had to reclaim my life, and part of reclaiming that life was starting a family with none other than one of Good Charlotte's own group guys out there, and that, boys and girls, is absolutely hilarious, is absolutely incredible, and I think this is a beautiful, happy, positive thing, and it sounds like Cameron Diaz might be one of the few ones out there that's not completely and totally crazy. Considering the fact that she's smoking hot, it goes a long way to make that even better. And I love hearing about families. I love hearing about people having kids because we're facing a population crisis right now, and we need to expand out as a species if we're ever end up colonizing the rest of the universe out there. That's something that I'd really like to see us happen. I think we can do it, and I think we will do it. And the fact that someone even like Cameron Diaz said, you know what? No. The money is not worth it. I want to start a family. That is beautiful. That is amazing. That is wonderful. That is something that deserves to be praised. And that's exactly what we're going to do right here today, boys and girls. So we're going to check this article from Variety.com, getting all of the juicy details. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Let us know what you think about this. This is a positive, happy light for you as well. Are you glad to see that she started a family and that she's now coming back to acting and cannot wait to see what she stars in next? Well, let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. So from Variety.com by Zach Sharf. When Cameron Diaz headlines Netflix's action comedy Back in Action alongside with Jamie Foxx next year, it will mark her first movie in 11 years. The actor left Hollywood for a decade to focus on her family. She has 2 children with husband Benji Madden. Yes, boys and girls, you heard that right. Talk about a lucky dude out there. I mean, literally a rocker getting to hook up with like the hottest Hollywood actors out there, and they're still together and they've got a family. That's awesome. That is awesome. And launch her business like Popular Wine and Villian. Speaking at Fortune's Most Powerful Women Summit, Diaz stood by her decision to retire from acting for just over a decade. For me, it was something I had to do. It felt like something I had to do to reclaim my own life, and I just really didn't care about anything else. Nobody's opinion, nobody's success, no one's offer. They couldn't offer her enough money to not do this. No one's anything could change my mind about the decision of taking care of myself and building the life that I really wanted to have. It really comes to what are you passionate about? For me, it was to build my family. And talk about a rejection, an absolute rejection of all of the feminist propaganda that has been force-fed down women's throats for literal decades about how your career is more important than anything else, about how you can have a career and a family at the same time, and yada, yada, yada. And Cameron Diaz was smart enough to see through that BS and went, no. I can't do both. If I'm going to have a family and concentrate on that and build that and give my children all of the attention that they need, I have to quit working. I have to go and be a stay-at-home mom instead of going to red carpets and making millions of dollars every year. She chose family over all of the glamour and seductions that Hollywood brings with it. And that, for one, boys and girls, is so impressive and shows you just what kind of good common sense head Cameron Diaz, that absolute smoke show, literally has on top of her in her head, boys and girls. And that's a beautiful thing. How often you get a combo like this? A smoke show out of Hollywood who also has some common sense and recognizes that family is more important than any amount of money in the world. That is a beautiful thing. But speaking of that, if you'd like to help support the channel, check out the links in the description down below. This is my full-time job. I do get to be a stay-at-home dad doing this. So if you'd like to support me, supporting my family, and doing this full-time and keeping me at the house, please check out the links in the description down below. So I love that. I think that's absolutely gracious. I think it's absolutely great. And this is what she left. This is what she left behind. Or this is what she's getting ready to do. Cameron is now jumpstarting her acting career again. Netflix is back in action. Centers on 2 former CIA spies, yada yada yada, all that kind of fun stuff. Also on the return, and for a lot of people, I think is going to be the exciting one. Also on the horizon for Diaz is the return of the Shrek franchise, which is developing a 5th animated movie that will feature the voice reprisals of Diaz as Fiona. Which, boy, I bet we can't wait to see that. I loved Fiona as a character. I love those movies out there. And that Shrek franchise did went a little off the rails as they got a little too much adult humor in some of those movies for me, at least as far as for a kids movie out there. But needless to say, they have been an absolute romp of fun. Prior to these projects, her last movie was in 2014 theatrical releases, The Other Woman, Sex Tape, and Annie. That is absolutely insane. And she was one of the most bankable stars from the 90s to the early 2000s. Obviously starred opposite The Mask in Jim Carrey, which, oh my God, do you remember her in that dress in The Mask? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Doggies. If you haven't, go back and watch that movie recently. If you haven't gone back and watched that movie, go back and watch it recently because it's really good. And holy cow, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And obviously you go on to talk about Charlie's Angels and Shrek and Annie and everything else. So this, I think, is awesome. This, I think, is great. I love hearing stuff like this, especially about such a wonderful actress like herself. Cameron Diaz is a beautiful woman, and apparently she's actually got a decent amount of common sense in her head at the exact same time because she decided to give up all the glamour, all the money, all the praise, all of the fan worship and everything else. She took herself intentionally out of the limelight. Why? Because she wanted to have a family. She wanted to be a mother. She rejected all of the insane feminist ideology that they have shoved down people's throats for years and years and years, and instead decided to take her husband down her throat. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Now they have 2 wonderful children, and now that that's gotten to a point where it's all taken care of and everything else, she is now slipping back into acting, hopefully slipping back into some of those beautiful dresses and outfits that we've all known and loved to see her. And honestly, this is a beautiful and refreshing thing to hear about because boys and girls, we talk about it all the time. You get exactly what you deserve around here. And Cameron Diaz decided to prioritize family and being a mother and her children over any of kind of the glitz and the glamour that comes with Hollywood. And now she's enjoying a resurgent career where everybody's excited to see her come back. And she also has 2 beautiful and wonderful children. At the end of the day, it looks like Cameron Diaz made the exact right decisions and she is getting exactly what she deserves.